In this tutorial we will see how to colorize the planet we've made in the previous one. So I'm just starting from what we've done earlier. I will maybe just adjust a bit the here to avoid going outside of the range. And so for the coloring, you have the colors here, the mountains color. So the mountains color can be modified over here. This is the color editor. This color editor appears only when you have a tab where you have colors. By default, it's selecting the first color you see on the tabs here. So the color, you have a ramp that is made from 3 colors. So you have the first, the middle one, and the last one. And you can edit either the full ramp, all the 3 colors simultaneously, or you can have the colors separately. By default, here it's the full ramp that is edited. So you can modify all the colors at the same time. So if I want to reduce the green, it will remove the green from all the colors in the ramp. And the same for the hue or saturation or value. So if I want to saturate all the colors, I can just increase the S here. Or if I want to darken everything, so I can reduce the value. You get the idea. But you can also edit the color one by one. So the ramp is matching the 8 by default. So here I have the color that is the color of the lowest part of my planet, the middle part, and the high part, so the mountains of the planet. So for instance, if I want to have something that is much lighter here, I will increase it, and you see that all the highest part of my planet is no lighter. I can also modify how the ramp is spread, all the colors are spread in the ramp. So with these 2 sliders, I can change the way it's interpolated between the color. So if I put the ramp at its lowest value, then I will have clearly the 3 colors visible. And the more I increase this slider, the smoother the transition is between the colors. So if you want to have something that is more a toon-like planet, then you can have something that is really visible. I mean the border between the color really visible. Or if you want to have something softer, then you just increase these values. And the second slider is to change the distance between the central color and the 2 extreme color. So if I reduce the value, the first and the last color will go away from the middle color. So you will have much more middle color present in the planet. If you increase the value, it will shrink the zone where you have that middle value. It's working also when you are doing very smooth transition. So you can basically remove the presence of the middle color if you go full to the right, and if you go full to the left, it's much more softer. You can really see that in the ramp here. And when you edit the color separately, you can either edit the 3 color separately by selecting this one, or just the 2 extreme color. When you edit this color, it will automatically regenerate the middle color as the medium value between the first and the last color. So for instance, if I have something that is more reddish here, you see that the middle color is automatically regenerated. So it's quite useful if you don't want to fool around with 3 colors and just use 2 of them. And when you're editing the color, you can also enter directly a value here, X value, which is often used in web design and stuff like that. So if I put 00FFFF, then I will have pure cyan color. So if you are doing cut and paste between color references you have, it's very easy that way. You can also easily flip the ramp, so it will basically flip the first and the last color. And you can also pick a color from a reference picture. So for instance, if I'm checking for some planet picture, so I have a reference picture from the net that I want to use. So I will just reduce my window here, and I can select the first color and use the eyedropper to get the darkest color that will be used for the lowest part of the planet. Then the middle one, I will just pick that green, and that one will be for the lightest part over here. So you see that I got planet with really similar color, and it's really easy to just pick references from pictures you have or other stuff. It's really useful to create nice shades of colors. When you have created an interesting shade of color, you maybe want to store it, to reuse it later on. So you have here all the presets that I already have, and if I type here, let's say I have something that will be called greenish, I click on the plus and it will be added here, the greenish. And so I can click on any of these presets and it will automatically replace the color. And if I got one preset that I don't like, let's say I have another one that I called blah, just like this, and say okay, I don't want that one, I want to rename it or whatever. You just click on the dustbin and it will be removed from your presets. So once you have correctly edited your color ramp, then you can still modify some stuff. Here I got another secondary ramp that is used for the desert. We will talk about that when we will see the desert in a later tutorial. So the color bias is just to change where the ramp is beginning and where it ends. So if I put it really high, I will have mainly that part of the ramp that is used. If I put it totally on the left, I will have something much darker. That part of the ramp will be used more. Color from slope is a different way of coloring the planet. By default it's 0, so it's using the 8 of the planet to choose the color. But if I change to color from slope, it's basically using the slope of the mountains and everything to change the color, and you can have something in between that sometimes give really interesting results. It's really up to you to choose which way of coloring the planet you prefer. Then you have the color ramp used for underwater. Here it's not used because I don't have water, but we will see that also when we will have the tutorial for the water. And then we have these two sliders, the land roughness and the AO, ambient occlusion roughness. It's basically how shiny you want your planet to be. By default it's totally rough, so if I put my lights over here, let's say, I have no specular over here, but if I change the roughness, you see that for lowest value it's just really shiny, and you have of course everything in between. Here you have something quite interesting. But if you want to have different more variety on the roughness, you can modulate that with the AO roughness. So let's say I want to have something shiny, but I don't want it to be shiny in the deepest part over here. In the deepest part where you have creases and stuff like that, you will have ambient occlusion. So if I increase ambient occlusion roughness, the part here where it's darker will be more rough, and the remaining will be so the peaks of the mountains will still be shiny, and the parts that are darker over here are more rough. So it's more interesting. You see, when you move the light, you have something that's quite interesting to see. At any moment, you can also check what you're doing more in details using the layers over here. By default, it's showing the material, the full material, but you can see just the albedo. So there's no lighting over here, it's just the base color layer. Then you can see the roughness. The roughness here, we can see that it's very rough. Here, where it's whiter, and where it's darker, it's more shiny, so it's less rough. Then you have the 8. You can see the 8 as grayscale or as colors over here. Then you have the normal, the ambient occlusion, the curvature, the slopes that are the slopes that are used to colorize over here when you use the color from slope. Water, you have nothing here. Moisture, you have barely some stuff. You have the heat spreading. We will come back later to that, and the clouds, but we have no clouds over here. So I go back to the material. Okay. So this is it for this tutorial. You know how to colorize a planet now, at least the first layer. We will see how to do more advanced stuff in the future tutorial.